Hello, hello, hello. Um, it's been a few games here that I've been looking at the team, trying to figure out what's going on with them, and I figured I had a couple things I wanted to make comments on and tell a few stories. First of all, I'd like to thank Fallon and Fallon Family Dentistry, 5109 West Genesee Street, number 105, Camillus, New York. Special thanks to Anne Marie Fallon. Well, um, as we've been watching the Syracuse team, they've been looking very interesting. I remember telling everyone before the season started that it was going to be a fun season, an interesting season. You got a group of guys that are very talented. Number one, a lot of new faces, a lot of people trying to figure out what's actually going on. And, it takes some time to get together and play together. I normally say takes 8 to 10 games for a team to find its identity and figure out how things are working and get confident enough to play the zone defense, so that you're really not worried about getting pulled out of the game. You're confident in the fact that you know where you're supposed to be. You even know if someone makes a mistake, you know how you can double over and help them out. So it's a good thing to get those games under your belt. So one thing that I always wanted to say. Now, I truly appreciate comments, and but I've got a few requirements as far as participation goes. I'm really not a big fan of negativity, so posting personal rants that are detrimental and useless in supporting family, friends, players, coaches, or fans. So I'm going to try to stay away from that. I've always been focused on the positive. So out of every situation, if you can focus on the positive, you can pull your team up by the bootstraps. And there's nothing better than to have a team that you supported the whole year, even through tough times, and have them pull themselves up by the bootstraps and do exactly and do phenomenal things that no one else thought they could do. So let's get a little faith, and support the team. Like I said, comments are appreciated. They don't have to always agree, but there's an etiquette in talking about. I guess it's called constructive criticism. You know, one of the best comments that I can remember in my lifetime. I was I was 19 years old, and my mom came to one of the games at the sectional, so we're already in the playoffs. Things were going pretty well for us. We were undefeated that year, and so after the game, so my mom comes to the game, and my mother is known for she sees things. She tells me as she would tell me things as she sees them. So she walks into the house, and she one of her comments were, she said, "Baby, when those little guys come through the basket, it seems to me like you could just put your hand up and just bat that ball away." And I sat there for a second. I was like, "Yeah, I could probably do that." So a simple comment from my mother, who went to a game at the sectional. She didn't go to all the games, but she sat me down and we talked about every game until the sectionals. Her comment that maybe I could put my hand up, seeing that I'm so tall, when those little guys come to the basket, she felt that if I just put my hand up, I could just bat the ball away. Well, the next game in the sectionals, I had 12 or 14 block shots, and that's when I started to focus on blocking shots, and it worked out pretty well for me at Syracuse University. I had the shot block record there for 20 years, and I remember the only reason I know I had it for 20 years is because when I came home from Italy, someone told me that Etan Thomas had broken the shot block record, which I really didn't know that I had. So, but all of that comment from my mother, just put your hand up there, swat the ball away, it made a lot of sense to me. I started doing it. I became good at it, and it helped out the numerous teams that I played for in Europe. So constructive criticism, fantastic thing. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, and just, when we're making comments or talking about what's going on, always understand that that some of the parents, some of the players, and some of the parents will listen to this broadcast. So there's an opportunity to pass on helpful information. I like to try to be as helpful as possible because there's things that you can see that they can't see. Like I used to always, it was great for me to talk to people that were at the game and have them, explain to me if the defense looked good, if we look slow, if we look dynamic, if we were down, if we were up. It's always good to hear that because sometimes when you're thinking about what play you're supposed to be running on offense, how to help out on defense, how to cover, you miss out on the little keys that you might not be playing with a lot of intensity because you're thinking everything through. So everything can be useful. What else we got here? Here we go. Everybody was talking about the new zone there. Well, here we go. I have to put this up there. Aaron Robinson, I agree with you. Good, brother. Negativity isn't good for anybody. Isn't good for anyone. Absolutely, Aaron. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. And here, Roberto said the same thing in Italian. Sempre positivo come eri da qui a Reggio Emilia. Un abbraccio. He said, just like I was when I was there in Reggio Emilia, Italy, a big hug. Grazie, Roberto. Tante belle cose. See, yeah. So, it's so funny because some of the comments that I've heard in the past, people don't seem to think that it's possible to play only a zone defense and win a game. Well, I'd like to just give you a little bit of my background as far as the zone goes. So when we're at Syracuse, we played a lot of man-to-man and went to the zone predominantly when I got in foul trouble. But I appreciated having the zone there. Before I go any further, I wanted to say hello to Barb Ann, Judita Santini, Tracy Brady, my wonderful, fantastic, my first niece who I carried to the games when she was 2 years old at Syracuse. Roberto Sempre, Gary Sutphin, my neighbor down the street, and Richard Holmes. It's I had a coach when I was in you want to talk about zones and how effective zones can be, or do you need to play man-to-man? I had a coach in Italy. He was a great coach. His name is Gianfranco Lombardi. He passed away recently, but as far as coaching goes, now his coaching style was one that I found kind of annoyed me a bit, but hey, that was my job. I was a professional. I was there to play basketball. But the one thing that he used to do all the time, we would work on. So the thing about playing the zone, it all depends on how it's read. So the guy bringing the ball up, the playmaker on the floor, if he reads it that it's a 2-3 zone, he's gone over how you're supposed to attack the zone. That's fantastic. But taking it to a whole different level, Coach Lombardi, he was a master at disguising what the zone actually was. So we would play a 1-1-3. We played a 2-3. We played a diamond and one, which basically you have four guys in diamond shape and one guy that played their best shooter man to man, and he just chased him everywhere. So 4 guys would line up against 4 guys. So all of your classic picks, rolls, your classic ways that you should be open weren't. You would think that you would attack it like you would a man to man. You think you would attack it like you would attack a zone, but it created the idea is if the idea of the zones were mixing the setup positions, then anticipating rotations to confuse the opposing point guards. It was the fact that by playing these zones, for instance, with Syracuse, we're getting killed on the high post. Guys were coming into the high post and they were just torching us. And Coach Boeheim's adjustment was to put Buddy in front of the high post when the play started, and Joe Girard in front of him. So what Coach Lombardi would have called it would have been a 2-3, but except for he started it to create a problem for the guard to read it. It can drop back. The rotations can be very similar, but all of these zones, everyone knows how to attack a regular 2-3 now because Syracuse has played it for so long. But what Coach Lombardi would do is he would come down and he would disguise whatever zone we were playing, and the rotations in the zone were not your normal rotations. So anybody that thought they knew how to attack a zone would come down and try to attack the zone in that particular way, and he would have designed it so that the first pass would get double teamed. So there's a lot of things that you can do to mix up a zone to confuse. See, the zones are to confuse the guy that has to attack them. And once there's the thing about defense, when you're playing defense, whatever defense you're playing, and the opposing team gets comfortable attacking that defense, then you're in trouble, because then they're going to find ways to pick it apart. They're going to get creative. They're going to start doing alley-oop, all kind of things. But when they're not sure exactly what you're running, time ticks off the clock, and by the time they figure out what you're running, you always want to keep a little bit off guard. So if you can keep the offense, if the offense is not comfortable, then you've pretty much done your job. Always remember, once the offense gets comfortable coming down the floor and they understand what movements are out there where they can fit in, that's when the intensity will increase on the offense. Now with the defense, you can counter that by playing more aggressive defense. But on defense, you got to be careful to play aggressive defense and not following defense. There's a wise coach that once said, if one player is playing aggressive defense, if 5 players are playing super aggressive defense, it's great defense. If one player is playing more aggressive than the other players are, and the referees can pick it out, it'll be called a foul. So my recommendation is, on defense, try to match the intensity of your most intense player on the floor. Intensity on defense is always a good thing because it never gives the offense a chance to get comfortable. And if they don't get comfortable, they can go on these sprees of shooting and scoring and all that stuff. So those are my little points that I wanted to make before the game. We're going to be playing against Villanova tonight in Madison Square Garden, and I'm extremely excited about this team. This team is learning. This team is getting better game after game. It's great to listen to the interviews because all of the players are confident in one another. They're confident when they're out on the floor. They expect to win, which is exactly how you're supposed to be. There's no one that's down on themselves. They understand that it's a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You've got to go out there and you've got to play this game to the best of your ability and have fun while you're out there. There's nobody said you can't have fun while you're out there playing. Let's see here. Just checking who's here. So also, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned is so the game is tonight at 9, and I'll be doing the halftime show on Game Watch, which is it's coming out of Syracuse. I believe it's going to be on Twitch. It's going to be on Twitch. So I'll be doing the halftime show there. So I get to watch the game, and at halftime I get to talk a little bit about what I've seen, and then I get the opportunity to go back and watch the rest of the game and not do a post game show. So just I want to give you a quick note. 15 minutes, let everybody know that I'm still out here, what I was thinking about. A few little game stories. And that's about it. Let's see where we go tonight. Go Orange. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and everyone that's going to see this later. And special thanks to our sponsor, Fallon and Fallon Family Dentistry, 5109 West Genesee Street, number 105, Camillus, New York. Special thanks to Anne Marie Fallon. Go Orange. See you after the game. Ciao.